Okay, we can start. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the roundtable about casino and betting. It's no secret that the gaming industry is growing and shows no signs of slowing down. New markets and upcoming regulations in trending geos contribute to the rapid development of the industry. So it will evolve even more in the future and bring even greater results to marketers. For this reason, on the webinar, we are going to focus on the casino and betting niches and learn how to make the most of them. Today, we are honored to have four guests with completely different experiences, and they are ready to share it with our viewers. Please let me know if you can see and hear as well. Write it in the chat if everything is okay. Okay, looks like everything is fine. So let's proceed. As we are getting started, it's time to introduce myself, our distinguished guests, and the main discussion points. My name is Vasilii Gamov. I am Chief Marketing Officer at RichAds at Tech Holding. I have more than 12 years of experience in marketing and had an opportunity to work with different industries in affiliate marketing business. Now, let me briefly enlighten you about the RichAds advertising network and formats we offer for affiliates to have the highest CR. Being a self-serve advertising network, RichAds has a lot to offer to affiliate marketers. We provide more than 5 billion impressions on 200 geos daily on such formats as push, pops, in-page push notifications, as well as direct click and newly added one, native ads. We work with all the verticals starting from casino and betting to dating, MWAS, antivirus, sweepstakes, Nutra, software, and more. We even offer turnkey and fully managed ad campaigns for our clients. Those are also perfect options for the newbies. That is from my side. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce the wonderful experts that we are lucky to have today. Ivana, could you please be the first and tell us about your overall experience at the ComeOn group?
Hello, everyone. Very nice to be here. Thank you for the invite. I am Ivana Flynn. I currently work as the SEO director at ComeOn Group. I have 13 years of SEO experience, out of that 7 in the betting industry. This industry, as you said, is fast-pacing, is growing, and it's definitely here to stay. So it's very good we're holding this webinar. At ComeOn, we currently have 17 brands. We're covering 8 different markets. We are mainly European-centric company. I cover the SEO part, which means I bring the organic growth. And SEO is my passion for many years. I always say SEO is not work, it's a passion, and it's a NASA of digital marketing. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for the introduction. Milorad, now it's your turn to speak. Please introduce yourself and the company you are working for.
Hello, everybody. I'm Milorad. I work for a Gaming Innovation Group, or GIG. I've been with the company for 7 years now, in the iGaming industry since 2009. I'm director of publishing and SEO for GIG Media, which is the affiliate arm of GIG. We're one of the biggest iGaming affiliates in the world. My team runs 100 plus websites in both casino and sports in many different markets worldwide. And I'm very happy to be part of this webinar.
Thank you for the introduction. Darlan, please take the floor and tell us about yourself and Indoleads.
Hello, everybody. Very nice to be here. Thanks for the invitation. It was a great pleasure to be here among so many skilled professionals. So my name is Darlan. I work for Indoleads. It's an Asian affiliate marketing platform. Working for more than 180 countries. I'm sorry. We're working with several different formats and more than 10,000 affiliates that are, joining on a daily basis Indoleads, and to provide to our advertisers the best formats, the best strategies, being top of the funnel, middle of the funnel, or any kind of approach they would like to have, either being visibility or sales or both or combination of. We can always work and provide to our advertisers the best solutions for them to enhance sales and enhance their visibility. Actually, I'm based in Brazil, And Indoleads is the only Asian platform in the region at the moment. And we're here doing an amazing job. And my colleagues also from all over the world are helping Indoleads to achieve great results. Thank you.
Thank you. Txema, we also look forward to learn about your experience in the industry and the Revpanda that you represent today.
Hi, my name is Txema. I'm Spanish. I've been working on the iGaming industry for the last 7 years. And I work as Chief Growth Officer for Revpanda, which is a marketing agency. Initially, our main focus was mostly improving the SEO, the search engine performance of our clients. But then our clients started coming with additional issues like operators telling us they had a problem with their payment methods on this GEO or in that other one. And we started evolving new techniques like the payment methods testing, we do FTD testing, and different methods to try to optimize the overall revenue and growth of any company.
Thank you. Many thanks to everyone. And let's proceed with our agenda. Today we'll discuss several points of great interest in iGaming industry. They are iGaming traffic channels for 2023, modern and traditional GEOs for casino and for betting. Also, we will discuss common mistakes in casino and betting campaigns. And the next point will be about target audience for betting and casino, main differences between the users. Next, we go with cutting-edge strategies for effective landing pages and creatives. And finally, we'll focus on recommendations how to maximize your ROI by using modern technologies. After this, we'll have a burning Q&A session and announce bonuses from our partners, so stay tuned. Make sure you ask questions in the chat during the roundtable. You can address a specific person if you wish to get an answer from them exactly. Okay, now the most awaited part, discussion. So let's start with the first part. First of all, we need to discuss differences between traffic sources for betting and casino niches. And from our expertise, I will begin with RichAds. From our expertise, I can advise testing 4 formats: push, native ads, pops, and direct click. The thing is that they are easy to set up. There are no restrictions in terms of creatives and lenders, and even adult traffic can be used. The volumes on any GEOs are impressive, while pops and direct click don't even require creatives to get started. Just a link is enough. Not being unfounded, 3 of the formats showed best results for the niches in 2022, and according to our analytics that we published in the Best GEOs and Verticals report, while native ads have just gained popularity and show 0 signs of slowing down. So let's switch to traffic sources you work with. What are they? What are their main issues? And in terms of trends in 2023, do you see that some sources are growing or even the appearance of the new leading ones? Ivana, could you be so kind to start this part of discussion and share your experience?
Of course. So as you know, I'm coming from the casino, and in casino, we like to take advantage of every available traffic because you never know what's going to convert and what's going to bring you the best players. We like to utilize all of the marketing funnel. So you will see us, especially in the regulated markets where we heavily operating, such as Sweden or Denmark or Germany, that we are on TV. We have got adverts on buses, especially now as we are rebranding our ComeOn brand into betting. Sweden is just flooded with our new logo. So we do the above line to make sure we scream our name, we tell them what we are about, and people start to think, yeah, there is this thing called ComeOn or some of our other brands. And then we utilize all of the funnels on the digital ones. So we go with programmatic for the intent and brand awareness and as well retention, just like social. Then we work heavily with affiliates because affiliation is an extremely important market funnel in this industry, because they bring quality players and players that we don't attract without them. So they target different keywords to us, which Milorad will explain. They are one of our trusted partners. Thank you very much. And then on the bottom of the funnel is me and my colleague on PPC trying to close the deal. So all of the funnel working beautifully together. Of course, we try to optimize it as much as possible. So we create the best CPAs and bring the correct customers. So we research our intent. We make sure that we can be present in certain markets, and then we can have the correct offers, and we can use certain channels. Obviously, you have different channels for different markets. If the market is not licensed, such as Finland, we wouldn't have PPC or other paid, but we would heavily rely on affiliation and SEO. But in an ideal world, we have all of them working beautifully together.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing. Darlan, could you share your experience from the part of affiliate network? Do you have similar statistics like Ivana shared, or you have something special in mind?
I think that Ivana designed beautifully how you can eventually create the strategy for the advertisers that are working for Indoleads. We are a very tailor-made company. Yeah, we work really by almost like with a magnifier to understand what the client is looking for, what the advertiser is looking for. So, for instance, I have advertisers in Brazil, one of the biggest betting company, the biggest actually betting company in Brazil, that they want to combine a CPL and a CPA strategy, with CPL being email marketing and CPA being the formats that can be banners, that can be mostly banners, because we have Vinicius Júnior as the main spokesperson, or the ad guy. So Vinicius Júnior, as you all know, is a very well-known player from Real Madrid. So this guy on banners creates attention for a good CPA, for the conversion, for the FTD, but also they want to work in parallel with capturing the leads. So they have a strategy for CPL and a strategy for CPA. This is actually something that happens, for example, with more known and with a lot of visibility, media visibility. Some other betting companies, they are smaller and they want to have visibility that they don't have sometimes media dollars to buy space on TV. So they use pop under, they use click under, for instance, because they want to be not only to create this FTD, but also FTD, as you probably know, is first time deposit, yeah, which is the main goal, I would say, because they want to see the money coming in. But of course, visibility is important, and some of smaller betting advertisers, they are very welcoming to formats such as pop under or click under, because they are like cannonballs to create visibility. Because again, if you don't have the media dollars to be on TV, and Brazil is a very TV oriented, despite it's still very TV oriented, then they use such formats like click under and pop under that are very famous. Another last point, because my colleagues of course have a lot to say as well, is that the advertisers, the betting companies, they are very flexible to formats, and this is very nice, because they have restrictions, for instance, but they are not so many, because we have a list of formats, and most of them are quite welcome by the betting companies. So it depends upon the strategy and the size of the company, and we can tailor-made that and create the best, more suitable way to achieve the objectives of our advertisers.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing. Milorad, could you be so kind to tell us on the part of SEO group? I'm sure it's like one traffic source, website traffic from SEO, but maybe you have something special to share in this part also.
Yeah, well, I can talk about the company in general. So obviously I work with SEO, so we are doing only organic traffic within my department, but we have a very good paid department. I think it's one of the industry-leading paid departments when it comes to iGaming affiliation. And we work very well together. We have this analogy that we use when we talk about the two different departments, saying that publishing or the organic department is kind of like a big oil tanker, Titanic, that is very difficult to maneuver and slow moving. And then paid has different teams that we call speedboats, where we can just send them out to test different things and then use those learnings within the publishing department. So because when you are building a website to try to rank in Google, it takes a while to get to rank, especially if you're building big websites, brands, and so on. So we can use the paid department to go after to try out different things, to test different markets, to see what are the high value markets for us that we should enter, which partners we should use in those markets, what landing pages we should use. So and we get results very quickly because obviously we can just pay for the traffic. Within that department, we work with everything that is paid marketing that we can do. We have a very strong PPC team, social media team, display marketing, email marketing, everything. Within SEO, we have also many different strategies, depending on the market, also diversifying in terms of the geo split, and also the way that we do SEO for those websites. We have flagship websites that we're very careful with and sort of, do the more traditional safe SEO methods with. But then we also experiment with a lot of smaller websites, just to also try to figure out what works at any given point in Google.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for sharing. Txema, do you have any cherries to put on the top of this part of discussion? Because we covered a big amount. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we are all quite SEOers here. So I understand that we're all talking when we're comparing casino and sportsbook traffic sources. We basically analyze from an SEO perspective, or if SEO is not working, affiliates, which also through SEO are bringing traffic to casinos and sportsbooks. However, there are also other traffic sources that at Revpanda sometimes we end up using, like social media, wherever is permitted, PPC, which also Milorad mentioned. And we have some operators that actually we're helping them with positioning banners and advertisements in different platforms. Same happens with the streamers and influencers, which are something that in the latest years they're coming to acquire a big importance in the market and in acquisition of traffic. And then there's other methods that we haven't mentioned. There may be more marketing type of traffic, standard marketing, I would say. But we still help our clients with doing marketing campaigns. We do PR campaigns. We help them sometimes when they want to do some, for sportsbook, we do sponsored sports events. We try to put in touch different brands with whatever can help them grow their traffic, whether organic or just through brand awareness.
Awesome, thank you. To sum up, I see that most of you were SEO traffic and PPC traffic, and also you're using another types of traffic just to scale your businesses, to scale your funnels and make a growth. That's awesome. And let's switch to the next part about geos. So let's focus on differences between casino and betting, but in terms of geos. Now you can see the best geos for casino niche at RichAds right now. It's Indonesia, Turkey, Bangladesh, Vietnam, Brazil, Philippines, and Malaysia. And for betting in RichAds, most stunning geos are Brazil, Egypt, Bangladesh, South Africa, Nigeria, and Chile. So I would like you guys to share your experience about most stunning geos for betting and casino. If you see any difference there, also please share these insights. And also maybe you have special recommendations about geos and scaling there. Txema, would be so kind to start this part of discussion?
Yeah, sure. So, well, every year we see that new countries are creating certain new regulations, it just happened, the example of Chile. Why? Because they want to take advantage of the gambling growth. So I think that geos will be constantly changing. However, I think that as a standard casino and sportsbook, they always share the European traffic. I think European traffic, it's quite constant in all, especially Western European countries. But I think that there is a difference in what currently emerging markets within one or the other topic. I mean, we all know how popular are sportsbooks in South America, specifically Brazil, Argentina, where football is such a great thing. And I think the next big thing is also coming to Africa. So I think that with regards to sportsbook, if they're thinking about emerging markets, South America and Africa, while maybe also keeping a look into India, are like the main focus with regards to new growing traffic. While on casino, I still think that these countries, especially Latin America, it's still a growing market, but maybe not as much as a sportsbook from my experience. And I think casino, where it's really growing, it's on Asia, especially Southeast Asia, and also a bit on Oceania. From my understanding, these are the latest trends with regards to the difference between casino and sportsbook GEOs.
Nice. Looks like you tried to cover the whole world. It's awesome. Darlan, could you share your experience about Latin America in this part of the talk?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for the question. I think there is some very good things said by Txema in terms of, like, if I would like to add on what he just said, is about maturity, yeah, maturity of the market. And I would say that Latin America, it's like in between Europe and Africa. Let's put it in this way. So we are not anymore the beginners. We are not anymore like starting. We already got some, let's say, mileage. And we are growing and we are evolving. As you mentioned very well, Vasilii, Brazil is always there, no matter if it's casino or sports betting. Again, I agree with Txema that football here is huge. We no words about that. It's absolutely known. And therefore, there's a lot of people that do great with betting on sports, on games, especially football. Yeah. So basically, Brazil and Latin America are just coming to your specific question, are moving to maturity. Yeah. But when you look at Brazil and Latin America, if you are looking forward to explore these markets, don't take it as a bunch and take your strategy on a one-to-one basis. Yeah. Brazil is the biggest country. We speak Portuguese. Then we have Argentina, that we have to look at the situation there in terms of economics. Then you have places like Chile, which has only 18 million people. The state that I live has 30 million people. So you also have to look at that. And also to look at the players, because I know I'm negotiating with some advertisers that are quite big in Peru, and they only work with revenue share. So you have to also understand the country per se, the language, and the specificities of this part of the world. Things here take usually a bit more of time to take off, but they do. So strategy for Latin America should be tailor-made, well thought, country by country, looking at the nuances of culture, of behavior, of language, of being football the number one here, and things like that. It's a great place to be if you're careful. Thank you.
Yeah, useful recommendation. Thank you. Ivana, could you proceed with the story about European Union? How do you act there?
Yes, so my company is, I wish to say it's my company I work for. It's based in Europe, and we are very Europe-centric. So we work with the mature markets. I mean, when you think of it, Sweden is basically where all this online betting was born. So they are very, very good markets to be in. Saturated, but still very good. There is a good value of players. They like betting as much as casino. But every country has got its nuances, right? So for example, Germany, they are more casino players. I was just discussing it with my German counterpart today. Like, we are trying there with the betting, but they are just traditionally casino people, and we cannot target the casino keyword, which is very frustrating for us as SEOs. So we go after the slots. We need to look into legislation when you are working for casinos or operators. So, for example, Poland for us is traditionally a betting market. Even though they love to play casino, we cannot target it. So my point of view is always, can I do that in this country? Can we offer this product in this country? Europe is a fantastic market to be in because it's, as we said, it's matured. Yes, it's saturated, but there is always place for everyone. There is new people coming to the market. It's great for the point that you've got payment methods, that we have got legislations. We know how to deal with things from compliant point of view. So for this reason, Europe is very stable. We target lots of countries in Europe. Some we don't, but ones that we don't, and I would love to, are Spain and Italy, because obviously they are huge on sports. I would say Europe is very balanced when it comes to sports or casino. Sadly, we don't do any of those fun countries, as you are mentioning, like Latin America. I would love to visit that, physically and in a casino world. We don't do any fun in America either, but we cover Canada, and Canada is a great live casino market. So if you are looking into it as an operator, look into licensing, look into payment methods, and you can do well in any of those. But for those markets that I mentioned, it's very, very balanced for betting and casino. Obviously, casino is the one that is making more money, but betting is, the one where seasonality, it's fun. You can actually do fun campaigns. So I would recommend make your research and trying both.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing. Milorad, do you have anything to add on this topic?
I think I agree with everything that has been said. I can just add that we are very strong in casino, for example, in the Nordics and Central Europe, and for example, markets like the UK. These are also strong markets for sports betting as well. If we're talking about emerging markets, and what is currently really exploding for a lot of affiliates is, of course, Brazil, that Darlan mentioned, and Txema as well. And I think LATAM in general. Brazil is interesting because people might think as well that it's mostly sports betting, but there is a strong casino component, especially now with these new games that have appeared on the scene, like Aviator and similar crash games. We see huge search volumes for that when you're talking about SEO. Just a few years ago, everybody was talking about LATAM already. We were struggling at that time to see any real value there, and then it seems like the market has matured in terms of payment methods, because I think before people really had trouble paying at online casinos and online sports books. Then during COVID, there were a lot of these payment methods that appeared on the scene, a couple of very famous ones I'm sure everybody knows about, that just seem to have enabled a lot of people to access these products online. And if we look at Africa, that's one market I would probably say is mostly sports betting. At least I don't have much experience with casino there. I'm sure there is, or it's in infancy in terms of growth. But I also agree that that Africa is probably somewhere where LATAM was 6-7 years ago, and if the trend continues as it did in LATAM, then there will probably be casino products that will become popular as well with this growing market. So I would make that distinction, and I also agree that Asia is very strong with casino.
Thank you. So to sum up, looks like every geo in the world has its potential for casino and betting products, from what I heard here. Also, the next point is you need to localize your products, localize your websites, ad campaigns, and not to make it global, because every culture has its specialties, its mentality, its payment methods, its preferables in casinos, even ages and geos. So good. Thank you for sharing your experience. Let's switch to the third part of our discussion. It's common mistakes affiliates face while doing campaigns for casinos and betting. So what, up to your opinion, most common issues that affiliates do? And please mention how do you recommend to avoid them. So Milorad, let's start with you.
Oh, I think I can start with what you just mentioned in terms of localization. I think if you're entering new markets and you're already strong in some markets, thinking that you can just translate the website and have success overnight in those markets is usually doesn't work. You really need to look at the market specifically and have a strong local team, or at least people who know the local market and the language. There's very specific keywords in certain markets. They won't search for the same things that people search in some other mature markets, especially if you're targeting the emerging ones. So I think that's one of the mistakes that people might make as an affiliate. And then also failure to diversify, I think, as an affiliate is also very a big mistake. especially if you're only running with one or two websites that you've invested a lot of money in, you have a high risk, both in terms of how the whims of Google, algorithm updates, but also market trends in those places, and what happens with certain regulation and ISP blocking, so websites, payment blocking, and things like that. So I think the failure to diversify is definitely one of the biggest mistakes that an affiliate can make. And then also there's a lot of hype in this industry, and people start talking about certain things, and everybody jumps on that train, and then sometimes they miss opportunities elsewhere. So I think also just following every hype is also not a good idea. And if you are strong in a certain market and you have a strong team for that market, then go for it. Don't just follow whatever people are saying at any specific moment, because chances are high that you're not going to make it and lose a lot of money. So yeah, and in addition to all the other mistakes that you can make from an SEO perspective, like relying on a lot of risky methods, especially if you're only running a couple of websites that are your bread and butter. So yeah, I think those would be the biggest mistakes I would highlight.
Yeah, nice. So in terms of SEO, you should use not one website. You should use 3 to 5 websites to start with, and you should localize it. This the biggest advices for the newbies. And Darlan, could you proceed with sharing your experience about affiliate networks? What mistakes in different types of campaigns do you see there?
Well, basically, I think that it's about, before talking to the mistakes, is about this globalization that we been talking sometime here, in terms of having a lot of international companies that may believe that one size fits all, and it does not. I mentioned before about the nuances of Latin America. So glocalization, Milorad said quite well, in terms of team, in terms of language, in terms of things like that, that's for sure. One thing that happens as a mistake is that to consider maybe the market not so evolved, and then to try to cheat and to get caught. Because here we are tech savvy. We have the advertisers, of course, have the means to understand what's going on. I have, for example, 2 or 3 advertisers, local ones, that are changing completely their platform, both to monitor what's going on in terms of betting, and to monitor also the overall usage of their brand into the World Wide Web. So yes, you have affiliates that I know that are from Singapore, actually, and they are doing amazing, but playing by the rules. If you are trying to cheat, be very wise about it. We all know that there are black hats and white hats. I'm not making any judgment here. I'm not being judgmental. But if you want to play black hat, play smartly, because it's not because you think, oh, it's a faraway country, they are not so mature, and I'm going to try to do something here which is done in a lousy way. If you do it good, media buying wise, it's okay. Go ahead for it. So it's just to not consider, just to finish here my answer, to not consider the market because it's not so evolved that you can play not by certain rules. And if you want to bend these rules, if you want to break a little bit the rules, do it smartly. I mean, I work a lot with India. They're very wise guys, and I have meetings with them, the affiliate manager from India every week. And the question is always like that: how can you make the best strategy without being having any kind of issue? Because we want to bring results and not to bring headaches to anybody. So markets are evolving, but the Brazilian market, Latin American market, he has already some level of development that you should really be wise in your strategy here. And if you do so, results are going to come.
Yeah, thank you. Txema, could you share your experience from the part of marketing agency? What mistakes did you do, and what did you do to avoid them in future?
Well, I mean, mistakes, obviously, we've done a lot. What I find mostly in our company, it's some operators or affiliates, they come to us and they tell us, we want to do a an SEO campaign. We want to do an SEO audit, fix the website. And after a couple of months, they continue doing whatever they feel like. And suddenly everything goes a bit to hell. So I would like to address to our audience that SEO cannot be a one-time thing. It's that it used to happen maybe 12, 15 years ago. You could just run a link building campaign and you push a lot rankings and they would stay there. But nowadays, Google doesn't provide with positive rankings because you've done a unique action. What it's more important, it's consistency. So Google is going to rate much better a website that it's consistently building 10 or 20 pages of content rather than a website that 1 month publishes 100 pages and then leaves them parked there on the sandbox. And same applies for another of the pillars of link building, which of SEO, which is link building. You cannot just pretend to run a campaign, create 100 links, especially if some of them are a bit shady. And as Darlan was mentioning, a bit on the red line of black hat SEO. You need to show consistency. They are much more powerful. 10 backlinks every month rather than 50 or 100 backlinks all at once. Because otherwise you're going to show to Google that your website doesn't have an organic growth. And we know that basically what Google is pushing, it's organic maintenance of the website. Same would apply with a technical point of view. I mean, you can rush an audit and try to fix everything. And if you keep doing things by the standard, that's okay. But normally, after doing an SEO audit and some SEO fixes, I observed that when you let things loose, they end up tying up. I mean, it's like the Christmas lights. No matter that nobody touches them, every winter they are all buckled up. So I suggest all the marketers to keep working on the SEO consistently, if not month by month, every quarter they need to take a look and run recurrent campaigns, and especially establish an organic curve of what content you're building, what links you're building, and don't create spikes on any of them. So you have a proper link or content velocity.
Thank you for sharing. Ivana, do you have anything to add from the operator view here?
Yes, I mean, this was quite SEO heavy, so I will take it with my marketing hat. I'll step away from being SEO enthusiast here. I have the luxury of working with operator, which means we have got lots and lots and lots of channels to utilize. And I think when you are running a campaign, you need to think about the timing. So am I using the correct channel for this campaign, knowing how much time I'm allowed to succeed? If it's something very short-lived and it's going to happen next week, obviously you are not going to invest in SEO. You're going to put your money into PPC. If you can, you're going to shout out loud in social media what you're offering. You're going to try to use some of the above funnel, and you're going to rely on your affiliate partners that are able to push you into certain markets. If you are running something that, let's say we're going to be talking about GEOs 2024, we already started in March creating our content and landing pages from SEO to make sure that not only we score, but Google understand that this landing page is about this. This website is providing for this, so Google can comfortably rank us in 2024 for the Euros. So think of the timing, how much time you are allowed to create your campaign and properly score for it. So is it SEO campaign? Is it PPC campaign? Or is it just a thing you can shout for 24 hours or 48 hours in social media and convert that way? So first mistake is people don't always consider timing, especially when it comes to SEO. They expect us to rank in a month. Another thing is, are you in a correct channel? Sometimes we would love to be visible on, let's say, Instagram or Facebook, yet maybe people don't really want to say, I play casino games. So they're not going to like your page or they're not going to subscribe. So maybe consider if you are in a visible and correct channel, or if it's for people not liking there as well. If it's correct channel, maybe the interaction you're getting from people should be measured differently, because maybe as you're promoting a new casino game, your audience might be a little bit embarrassing. I'm a casino player, so they might not like it. However, you can see in your stats that people are engaging with it differently. So consider how you measure your success and if you're on a correct channel. And of course, if I'm going to step into SEO, make sure that if you're creating a new landing page for a campaign that is SEO friendly, it's indexable, it's crawlable, work with your developers, and again, allow yourself time. So I would say that would be to wrap it up.
Thank you. Thank you for the sharing. I think we have plenty of advices here, and I'm sure it will be helpful for all our viewers. So let's switch to the next part, and the next part about the audience, about targeting. So here I would like to discuss what tools do you use, what genders do you target? Do you use age segmentation, for example? Do you see any differences in age groups, in gender groups? Maybe it also depends on the country. So Ivana, let's start with you. Could you share your insights about European market and Canadian market?
We have got quite a lot of data because I work with channels that are allowed to have data. As an SEO, you're a little bit skewed on it, but generously other people will share with me what we're seeing. So we will know who we're targeting. Obviously, for the sport, we're mainly targeting men. Not saying that we're not targeting female, but obviously football is traditionally a men's sport, so we will be targeting that. Therefore, our creatives will be appealing to men. There are games that women love, so we would then, for casino, certain things show to them. Thanks God we have got some data, but you can never rely on that the data is 100% accurate, because on internet you can be anything, right? I can be 22 right now. Like a lot of filters, and you can be anything. So the data is always taken with a grain of salt. Of course, in different countries, as we spoke in the beginning, you target different things. Somewhere is more sports heavy, somewhere is more casino heavy. And I think no matter what you are targeting, you should diversify. For example, our amazing strategy team came up with this idea during the last World Cup. We were heavy on football, right? Sweden is our main market. We have got 5 brands there. So we're really heavy into football, one state casino. And we attracted a lot of people because not everyone is into football. So there was a lot of people flooding into casino and made a lot of money. So try to diversify, no matter who you're pitching to. You will never know your audience fully. Which tools we use from SEO is the traditional Google Search Console, Google Analytics, obviously. For tracking, we use Tableau. But again, take all the results with a grain of salt, because on internet you can be anything.
Thank you for sharing. And Darlan, let's switch to you. What about affiliate campaigns? Do you see any differences from traffic source to traffic source here?
Actually, we are like having an interesting situation here, which is related to age and tech savvy, or trying to understand. There's 2 aspects, 2 legs. Let's put it in this way. First, the age we will influence because some of the older players, they didn't have access to the internet before, and therefore they are not so tech savvy, and they don't have the means to play, even though it's very simple. Sometimes if it's a more like sophisticated game, they don't do it. So we have, let's say, our sweet spot would go from the legal age until 45 years old, mostly males, even though the number of females is growing. The other aspect, which is quite important and it affects a lot the online gaming, is 3G, 4G, 5G, because we are so big that some places of Brazil, where I am, for instance, in the state of São Paulo, we have 5G running with no issues. Then you run to other places of Brazil where there is 4G, and also there are some others still with 3G. And unfortunately, with 3G, you cannot do magic a lot. So the geo, if it's always interesting if you think about Brazil to slice it up your strategy in terms of not trying to, to try to reach the entire country, but like to slice it up a little bit, to use your geo for example for investment in a more, let's say, geo-wise manner. So I think that actually I collected some interesting information about online gambling in Brazil, which I would like to share very quickly. We reach around 1.6 billion in terms of revenue in 2023. We will reach by the end of the year. The volume which is growing for online casinos is about 1 billion in 2023 again. So this is not bad. However, the ARPU, that's the average revenue per user, is only $0.82. So it's not very low. It's not very high. I'm sorry, because the ratio in between $1 and our money, which is Brazilian reais, is 1 to 5. So really, it's not. Let's say they don't put a lot of money on the table, but they have a lot of people working. Or not working, sorry, but having fun with casinos and bettings in general terms. And finally, the user penetration in online gambling is around not even 1%, 0.9%. So you imagine the size of the market here and how much the companies that, I'm sorry, with a good strategy can gain in this market. Yeah. So I hope it was a good answer.
Thank you for your insights. Milorad, could you proceed? Do you have anything to add about this part, about audience?
I think from an affiliate perspective, we don't really have any access to any player data, such as age, gender, and things like that. Most affiliate programs don't really supply much in terms of that. I think where we do segment, however, is on the marketing end. So at the beginning of the funnel, of course, besides the sort of regulatory requirements. Most European countries are, for example, 18 plus. Then you have Netherlands, which I think is 24 plus. US and Canada 21 plus. So from that perspective, of course, we have to geo-target from an not geo-target, but to target from a age perspective. I know, speaking with a lot of operators, we do get a sense of who we should be targeting in terms of gender and age. So there is, depending on the operator as well, there are newer brands that attract a younger demographic, especially those around that are strong with esports and things like that. In sports betting, is generally associated more with the male demographic than the female one. In casino, I would say that the female demographic is much stronger than in sports betting, especially with certain casino products like slot games and bingo, and things like that. So, and I think especially in some of the more mature markets, and then Nordics and places like that, there's a much higher percentage of women as well. So I would say it depends on the market, it depends on the niche and the product specifically. But as affiliates, we don't really have access to player data.
Yeah, sure. Thank you for sharing your thoughts about it. Txema, do your colleagues left you anything to add at this topic?
Well, I must say they almost covered everything. I would like to touch that from an SEO perspective. At some point, we don't really think about age or gender. We think more of topical intent of their searches. So what we end up analyzing it, what is the casino player or what is this query user trying to find? And in order to try to segment a bit, I think that while obviously all the players, they want to entertain and get some joy for a few hours or for a few minutes, and obviously if possible winning money, I think that there is still a difference between casino players that strictly go to the game thing and betting or sportsbook customers, because even on betting customers, I make like two different separations. There is the betting user that just wants to enrich the already experience he's planned of watching a sports event. If he's watching the World Cup, they may make like a poll all together and they make some betting there. And there is more the guy who wants to work statistically and takes it more as if it was a job, or at least he enjoys the excitement of winning and researches statistics, has a deeper work on an informational level. So that brings different possibilities to, for example, to sportsbook, because you can end up doing the classical pages, money pages, which will bring clients to you. But operators and affiliates, they're also working on building informational pages. What is this type of what is ACA insurance, what is this type of offer, what are accumulator bettings, etc. Because there is a fraction of users that they don't just want to enjoy an event, they want to take it to the next level and try. They really care about the winnings. And well, that's just to put a cherry on top of what my colleague said, a bit of segmentation more that we analyze from SEO perspective.
Yeah, thank you. So here, as we can see, dear viewers, we can talk about age segmentation. On the base, you should start with legal age, legal age of playing games. I mean, gambling, casino, betting, and so on. Also, you should think about approaches you use for different players, for casino, for betting, and even keep in mind that you should also think about culture, about mentality, about ages, about even internet connection, because you cannot run video ads for the regions where there are only 2G internet or slow connection. So let's go to the next part about creatives and landing pages. So as we discussed, approaches are very important. Let's talk about them. Txema, could you start this part, please, and share your insights about landing pages, creatives, or texts, which are you using right now, for example?
Well, there is I think there is a different concept: landing pages for operators and landing pages for affiliates. For operators, landing pages are normally their homepage, or they have like a nice bonus campaign, 2 or 3 pages, which normally they will be their landing pages. In some cases, operators, they are very, very limited because of their CMS, all the APIs and background information, background resources they need. So they are very limited to perform SEO actions, in which case they end up building like a blog.operator.com or just a news section in order to try to have more organic SEO landing pages. But from an SEO perspective, I think affiliates, they work a bit more on landing pages. And me, apart from considering what is a landing page and what not, I think more as parent pages or children pages. Normally, we have like the big money pages talking about a wide topic with huge volume, like, blackjack online or roulette. And then from an SEO perspective, what it works for me at least is creating a lot of sub pages targeting smaller audiences just with a small query, or trying to cover any intent that it's very specific and targets a small portion of the market. And through that, first of all, you're going to win smaller portions of traffic that they could arrive or land on that smaller page. But on the other side, you're going to generate authority and build up that EEAT that Google is asking us since a couple of years ago. So for me, I believe that in affiliate network, every page should be a landing page, and it's just a matter of knowing which ones are targeting like the bigger volume keywords and which ones are targeting the smaller audiences, and helping the bigger pages to build that authority that Google requests.
Thank you for sharing. Darlan, could you tell us from the affiliate network side, do you have any special advices for different traffic sources about creatives and landing pages?
Well, landing pages are always, let's say, something quite helpful and very, I would say, flexible as well. For instance, when you talk about betting companies, we have here not only one advertiser, but like 3 of them from the same group. And we didn't put that in practice, but I think it's interesting to highlight, yeah? So we have this big guy, which has massive TV audience and things like that. We have another one, which is mid-size, and at the time, this other one, all related to betting, it was very small. And we decided that maybe it could be a good way to go using a landing page where we would use pop traffic and pop under to put a lot of visibility, create a lot of traffic, and then use the retargeting, So landing pages give you this flexibility. There's no way that a betting, at least in Brazil, but I believe all over the world, there's no way that like a betting company, a betting website would allow the retargeting script inside of their main web page. So that's one of the advantages of the landing page. Yeah. Again, we didn't put that strategy in practice for many reasons. We're still running these 3 advertisers, but doesn't matter. What I'm trying to say is that landing page does work. Yesterday, I was talking to a company which is related to online education, and they showed me a very good landing page. Because another point about landing page is that sometimes the main page, they have escape areas. For example, WhatsApp, that you go there as a user and then you lose the track because you want to have a form, filling a subscription form. But if you go to the main page, sometimes there's a WhatsApp, talk to us, or things like that. And when you do the landing page, you can avoid all of the things. You say, I don't want any escape points here. I want a landing page where they're going to go and they're going to create, put their information there. And we're going to go all the way to the end of the journey. So landing pages are flexible. Landing pages can be for different objectives. And they can also, depending upon the strategy, allow retargeting, which is a very, very powerful format, yet very dangerous as well if you don't use wisely. But with a landing page, you have this flexibility. So I'm very much in favor of it. I think it's a way to achieve results in a very efficient manner.
Thank you. Ivana, do you have anything to add here? And could you share what landing pages do you mainly use? Is it main page or it's page with roulette or with bonuses? What converts in the most better way for your products?
Yes, so I would add that for me, a good landing page is a compliant landing page. Compliance is there for a reason. I mean, we not only protecting our company and our licenses, but we're protecting the client. We want to make sure that we show the correct client the correct landing page with correct product, with the valid payment methods, and with the valid information about how they can bet. Because if you give them wrong information, you can mislead them what they can win. So we want to make sure that we play fair. So that would be my number one point. Another thing is which channel you're talking about. Landing page for SEO would be different to PPC one, for us to acquire new people. And it will be different if you are trying to retain people and resell something. So for CRM, for me, we are using our main pages, obviously targeting our branded keywords, because as an operator, we have a luxury to work with fantastic brands and we can actually score for our branded keywords, which bring a lot of traffic. Obviously, around 60% of this traffic is retention, which we don't traditionally think of SEO as a retaining channel, but it is as well. Then we are using ones for the main huge keywords such as casino, online casino, betting, odds, whatever. And then the ones that are a little bit on smaller keywords, but very important, such as football betting or roulette or all of this. So yes, we would like to cover all of that. PPC sometimes uses my landing pages. So in that case, we make sure that it works for SEO and the PPC score. So it is fast. It actually works with Core Web Vitals. It has got a good, relevant information. And always the landing page should be easy for people to understand what they want, because they actually don't come there to read my SEO content. They want to convert. Either they want to register or they want to deposit. So make sure that things you want people to do on your landing page, which is either become a player or deposit as a returning player, that you make those places very easy for them to find and interact with. Make sure your funnel of conversion is as simple as possible. Obviously, depends on market. Sometimes there are lots of steps. So if you are a player in one of those markets, very sorry, be patient, try to go through them. But if you can avoid it, if you can make it easier, of course, work with your CRO team to make sure that the conversion funnel is as simple as possible, that you fix bugs, because we see a lot of bugs in it. For example, many times landing pages are copy-paste from country to country, and suddenly you are converting and we are offering you payment methods you cannot use in your country. So make sure that you debug all those things and show relevant information for relevant product in relevant country.
Thank you so much. Milorad, do you have anything to add at this part?
Lots of good points. Well, I think a lot can be said about landing page optimization. It's a science for itself, but I think the main point that I think is important here is that it's consistent with the whole journey as the sort of final stage in the funnel. Ideally, if you are as an affiliate attracting traffic for example, a keyword related to bonuses, and then the page is about bonuses, ideally you have the landing page about the bonus as well, and not something completely unrelated. It's not always possible. We work with hundreds of partners. Some are very good at creating landing pages and always doing tests, and then knowing what to offer affiliates, and some just have their homepage, for example. Some don't even have them geo-targeted. So it really depends. Some partners are really good at it, and some are not there yet. Some allow you to deep link. For example, if you are writing about a specific match, you can deep link to that specific match on the sports book, which is also very good. The way we approach it, because sometimes the journey gets interrupted with the homepage or the wrong landing page, or sometimes it's just very sudden with the registration page, and sometimes that works very well as well. We try to also include a sort of intermediary page, kind of like a splash screen or a splash page, where we're sort of saying, like, we're taking you now to this operator, just to, even though it's an additional step, it kind of reassures the user that the journey is continuing, so there's no surprise when they click. So yeah, I think that's from our affiliate perspective, that's the most important thing. Always good to test different landing pages if you can, and if you have the capacity to do so, and just keep testing. We try to do it as much as possible.
Yeah, testing, it's like the heart of our business. So let's switch to the final part of our webinar, and this final part is about maximizing your ROI. We already discussed many things about geo targeting, about ages, about genders, about approaches and landing pages. So I suggest not to repeat all this stuff, but maybe give some small advices about tools or approach which works for you in the best way. And I mean even about AI technologies. I know some of you don't use these technologies. Some of you tried to use it. So I would like to discuss this part also. So Milorad, could you start this discussion and share your experience about best tactics to maximize your ROI and about using modern technologies and tools in your business?
Okay, well, from an SEO perspective, ROI has always been difficult to determine for SEO. There are so many moving parts. It's not impossible. It's just difficult. You have things that you are spending money on today that might not bring any results in the near future, or let's say, we're talking months from now, if not years, depending on what kind of market you're entering and what kind of product you're building as a website. So it's very hard to sort of attribute link building costs, content, various other things that promotionally that you're running for branding. But it's important to give it time in terms of SEO, and so give it a sort of a longer period to determine whether something is ROI positive or not. If you make the mistake of let's say you're building, and like any big project, or let's say like kind of like when you're learning a foreign language, you get to a certain point where you plateau and you don't progress. But then if you just stick through it for a little bit, you actually make that big leap, and that happens a lot with SEO. You feel like you are stuck in a rut, and then all of a sudden everything that you've been working so hard for gets rewarded in a Google update, or all of a sudden your site takes off. So I'm just saying that it should be a longer horizon when trying to maximize to calculate ROI for SEO. There is, of course, a lot of things you can do to maximize ROI and to cut costs. I think one of the things, like before, people were spending a lot of money on things that they weren't certain that they were bringing any good results. PBNs, links that were unrelated, stuff like that. I'm not saying it doesn't work anymore. I'm just saying that from what I've been seeing, talking to a lot of SEOs and people in the industry, it's used less and less. some people still use it, and of course, in certain markets, you might be forced to use it because it's very difficult to build links, as we know. I think what we're trying to do is go for quality over quantity, and this has been proven to be a good decision over time. I think sort of surviving, and not just surviving, but being rewarded through several consecutive Google updates. AI is this part where technology, I think, always lets you do more with less. So whatever you can use technology for to sort of reduce cost, it's good. You have to be very careful around how much AI you use, for example, for content generation. You can use it to cut costs in terms of how long it takes to create briefs for content, do keyword research, do a lot of different things. You can do a lot more with less. With content generation, I'm still a bit skeptical because of certain mixed signals that have been coming from Google. Google says, just before the latest core update, it released a statement saying that AI generated content for reviews should be marked as spam, for example. And that makes sense because you want users to actually review a certain a product in order to be able to recommend it. And as affiliate sites, we're running on basically review websites in most cases, unless it's sort of sports websites around scores and things like that. But it's mostly review websites. So it's very important to have that human element and not to cut corners around that. Now, should you do that in all instances? Like, can you be very creative when you're writing about roulette rules, for example, or is it just one way to say it? And then it's sort of like fact that you can't really be very creative. And so maybe then it's okay to use AI generated content because this doesn't really change depending on your sort of subjective experience. So I would say it depends on what you're writing about. But I would always still, if I'm using AI for content generation, I would keep it to a lower percentage on the website. I wouldn't, unless we are testing a new website and a new project. So I would say, yes, you can cut costs a lot using technology. You have to be very careful to strike that sweet spot so it doesn't backfire.
So yeah, it's very important, as you told, not to allow AI to write the whole website for you. Because what I noticed from my practice, AI is fine for introductions or in the article or for some common articles, which doesn't require any expertise. But when you're trying to make expertise, when you're trying to bring something new to the market, it's for often it's based on your experience, on your company experience, on experience some speakers or leaders shared with you. In such case, you certainly need a copywriter in your team, so you cannot just replace this copywriter with any AI. That's what I noticed from my practice. Yeah.
Google has added experience to the EAT acronym, right? Another E. So I think that's also a signal, especially around review websites.
Yeah, correct. Ivana, do you have anything to add from SEO part also here?
From operator, I would say what we're trying to do is to optimize our marketing spend and efficiency, because that's how you optimize your ROI. You bring down your CPA. So when you are very heavy depending on affiliates, you start to operate more on SEO and try to make sure that you steal the traffic from affiliation. Sorry, Milorad, but that's what we do. We try to make sure that we are not that heavily dependent on them, because CPA we pay to them compared to SEO, that's a huge difference. So all together, I'm not going to be speaking just from SEO, because for operator, it is whole funnel. If it works well, your ROI is fantastic. If it doesn't work well, it's just not going to work. So make sure that all your channels are working together for creating better ROI, which means bringing down CPA. When it comes to the AI technologies, I am actually up for it. I think AI is here to help. Again, how you use it is the key here. It's the important part. How much and how. There are so many amazing technologies out there you can use for creating videos, creating pictures, as well scraping web to give you a little bit of idea what's out there. For example, creating new article, I would set up my plugin to give me ideas, not steal the content, because I don't want to be a magpie, because this is basically, high-tech plagiarism when you think of it. So I would use AI to become more creative, to work differently, that, I'm not a robot, so I think a little bit differently, to sort of outsource my boring task to AI that can help, obviously, with cutting costs. But I think for an operator, it's not just cutting costs on SEO, is making sure your family is working perfectly together. And that's the way, and that's what we're trying to do in ComeOn for quite a while now. And that's what we see actually works when you are increasing your ROI.
Yeah, thank you. Darlan, do you have anything to add from the part of affiliate network about maximizing ROI? What is the best tools up to you?
Actually, I think that it was very well said in terms of the ROI is something that you have to analyze in terms of also cost-benefit relation. What I'm trying to say with that, sometimes saving the media dollar will be more expensive than not saving it, So it's better to have maybe a strategy that can concentrate in a certain, let's say, strategy or way to go, that it's not so, let's say, so much replicated. Yeah, it's more like, decisive and targeted, and then you put the media dollars there for you to expect to have the result. Because if you just think about cutting, you may put less, but also you may get less. Yeah, especially in this world where you can measure everything that is online in terms of results, and this is one of the most lovely things about that. I mean, my background is advertising, yeah, and I was having a discussion a while ago about putting the money on TV versus the putting more money online. I started my career doing TV ads, which I love it. It was very nice, but how can you measure that? It's like, I'm gonna put a cannonball out on the world, and if I hit 3 buildings or 100 of them, it's the same. TV is very difficult, and the online world, every media dollar can be accountable. So I love that, and I think that even though you may not be, so replicating the strategy so much, you do very, like, say, sniper-wise kind of targets to reach, either with SEO or other strategies, and you analyze. And another thing that I like to reiterate, which comes back to the last question, which is testing. That's another lovely thing about the the internet, A/B testing. You can do that and analyze the results and things like that. The next point, which is related to the fact that, you have to be very careful with AI. Again, as I said, my background is advertising. I am a copywriter myself. I started my career as a junior copywriter. So I'm a little bit suspicious here, but I completely again agree with our colleagues. AI is just for appetizers and not for a main dish. Yeah, it resolves well as an appetizer. It resolves well in terms of starting the meal, but a 3-course meal just count with AI to start, for starters. The main dish and dessert should be done for people that understand the business, that understand what they're talking about. They are experts, and you're going to get the results also on content. So right investments, like a sniper investments, with content done by humans that understand the business, will be bringing the results. Because again, you may just say, just going to try to cut. I'm just going to use AI here, going to put together and just launch it. The results are going to show very well that it's not the right way to go. So be wise with your money, yes, but don't be picky, or don't be like, trying to save every media dollar. Think strategically, and the results may come. And that's my advice.
Yeah, totally agree with you. Txema, do you have anything to add at this part?
Yeah, well, it goes in line with what Ivana, Milorad, and Darlan were mentioning. I mean, first of all, create long-term or thought strategies. I mean, if you need short-term results, do not go SEO, because that's going to take you time. Think about a PPC campaign as a search engine marketing. Now, if you want to go SEO, which that it will be a long-term campaign, but the results will be longer in time as well. Plan it ahead, because now working on an agency, I realized how many people created, I built my affiliate website. Now, can you take a look to the SEO and tell me if it's good or bad? And you tell them, but you didn't think about the SEO when you were creating your website. This is like if you're going to build a house and you build it, and then you call the architect and you say, do you like it? You say, no. I mean, you should call the architect up front. And similar thing happens with a few operators I found. Like they tell me, let's try to fix the SEO here, but you cannot fix it. Sometimes, in some cases, I found websites and I told them, let's just throw everything to the bin and build from scratch, which on operators you can't because you already have clients relying on that platform. But on affiliates, I ended up just building a new website, which is, I mean, we also have like a development team. And for me, it's crucial planning up front. If you're doing SEO, start with the roots, build the CMS according to the SEO principles that they guide you. Plan anything ahead before running into cost that then, as Ivana was mentioning, you will need to start reducing costs, and there is no way. And what else? We were talking about reducing costs. Ivana was mentioning sometimes taking part of the dependency of operators on affiliates. Well, there is this kind of new strategy thing of building satellite websites to try to cover not only first position, but second, third position of your branded traffic, and not allowing affiliates to steal your traffic. There are other concepts, like when you get a client, let's say on an affiliate network, focus on CRO. Ensure that once your client arrives to your website, doesn't go anywhere. We see so many websites with so many pages, with such a short time in page. I mean, when you get a client, ensure that whatever the user intent you are searching for and the client was searching for, you are going to provide him. And if that page is not the one designated for you to generate revenue, establish the proper traffic funnels in order to take them to your money pages or to the money sections of your website. I mean, maximize ROI, it's like $1 million question. I guess all of us have our little tricks, and nobody has none of them, because otherwise we wouldn't be here. We would be in the Cayman Islands.
Thank you so much for sharing, guys. It was like a fruitful discussion, and thank you very much for your thoughtful insights, and they were really fascinating to hear. I'm sure our viewers also liked it. So now we'll have a Q&A session and cover the most interesting questions from our viewers. To be honest, I already checked some of them, and there are plenty of them, more than 30 questions already in the chat. So if we will not cover any of these questions, we will share the contacts of our speakers in the end of this webinar. So feel free to ask them via LinkedIn or email. I think they will be ready to answer and to provide some help to you. So let's go into question and try to do a kind of a blitz here to make fast answers to cover most of them. So finally, our webinar called Casino versus Betting. And the first question is, what is better to start with, casino or betting, if you're a newbie in iGaming industry? What do you think, guys? What do you bet on here?
Well,
Txema, what's your thoughts?
From my point of view, before you decide, I'm gonna, similar to what I was talking before, plan your business, think what you want to do. What is the market you want to work? If you want to open a basketball betting site, don't focus on India. If you focus on India, go make a cricket website, obviously. So there is many more questions rather than just casino or sportsbook. But obviously, if you want to go into a gambling company, either affiliates, either operator, keep all the factors involved, analyze what market you're going to point, what target audience, what niche, and obviously, according to that, you will choose for this market, I want to do a casino. We were mentioning with Darlan that Latin America, it's very popular on sports betting. Why? Because they're so fan of football, and especially on the south or Brazil. But it's true because Milorad was mentioning that casino is growing also, especially in Brazil, but also other geos, because gambling is becoming, as Darlan was saying, not something like this low. It's the market is getting much more mature. So maybe it's more profitable to open a casino website in Latin America because you will have less competency, less competitors, or weaker than a sportsbook. Because a sportsbook, I mean, how many are there? Operators, I see more than 100 already quite active, and even affiliate sites, there are, I believe, much more about sportsbook than casino. So you need to analyze the whole market and what you want to do in order to choose either casino or sportsbook, because there is not good or bad. It's just, well, as John Muller says, it depends.
Yeah, thank you. Guys, if you don't mind, I will ask one question per speaker, just not to repeat the main thoughts. I think Txema's answer was quite fruitful and useful for the viewer. So the next question will be, what is the minimum budget for a tier-free casino campaign? Darlan, I suppose you can share some thoughts about it as an affiliate network representative.
Well, that's another $1 million question, huh? The minimum
like
budget.
$100. Is it enough to run a campaign in Brazil or not?
No,
For example, I know in our network we can start with $100, but to be honest, it's better to start with 500 at least to make several tests to compare results and so on. What is your opinion about it?
Yeah, I would say that something like that could be 500. I mean, because also we have here this like +5, yeah, 5 + 5, because our money is $1 to $5 to $2. So 2.5 thousand could be reasonable. I would say something like because it's very interesting as well. Brazil is an expensive country. It's, even though the money is not so, let's say, it's devaluated in comparison to dollar. In general terms, I would say around 1,000 could be like more assertive, something like that.
Yeah, thank you. And then I hear echo, guys. Do you have YouTube on? No? Okay, sorry, something wrong with my connection. Okay, the next question is about any tips on optimizing the casino campaigns on push. Oh, this one is for me, so I'll try to be short here. For sure, ask your manager. We already have traffic sources, whitelists for casino all over the world, for betting all over the world. You have no need to look for converting websites, converting feeds and traffic sources yourself. We already found them. We already optimized them. We will provide you with creatives and so on. If you're a newbie, you can try turnkey ad campaigns where our managers will run it for you. Also, don't forget to try micro bidding rules when you adjust your campaigns and automatically add or delete any sources. If you're a newbie, use performance mode, which also combines feeds based on your experience from these campaigns, from conversion from these campaigns. So these are the main advices about push traffic, and for sure ask your managers. They will provide you with more insights and suggestions about it. So the next question is, can you tell me more about starting with SEO traffic? I suppose we covered this topic much. Milorad, could you summarize just in short the main advices for the beginner? How many websites, how to choose a geo? Just make it short.
Yeah, I think if you're just starting out as a small, let's say, one-person team, look at what you are passionate about when it comes to also like choosing whether you want to go for sports or casino. If you're really obsessed with sports, then go for it. I mean, you can succeed in any niche, in any market. You just have to be good. So, if you know a specific market and you are passionate about it, I would say go for it. When you also have to know, though, that certain things you can't just write about informational content and hope to succeed, in the sense that you won't get many conversions. So you need to have a good mix of both informational and transactional content. So you need to know what keywords you're going to target. However, you also need informational content to get this sort of website authority. Just be prepared to know that it's going to take some time to rank, especially if you're just starting out and you don't have a big budget. You're probably going to either order content on a smaller scale or write it yourself. Link building, are you going to try to do outreach on your own? This is all going to take a lot of time. So if you're doing it alone, be prepared to not make any money for a couple of years, I would say, at least, unless you're really good and you're lucky at the same time. That can also happen. But just be persistent and just keep going at it. Don't go for quick, easy wins, especially if you're just starting out, because then you can get discouraged very quickly with a negative Google update. Just keep at it and don't stop. Grow the website, match user intent, give the users what they want, and over time, of course, optimize for Google always. Learn about the different things that are working for different people, talk to other SEO people, and just keep going.
Yeah, thank you. And the next questions, what are the easiest traffic sources if I'm completely new to the industry? In my opinion, if you don't mind, I will share it. First, the easiest will be push or pop-under campaigns, because it's quite easy to launch. There is low moderation, so low restrictions, and you're easy to launch it. I remember I firstly launched push campaigns about something like 6 years ago. It was really easy. I made positive ROI just in 1 week with some casino products, so it was awesome. If we go next, I will suggest something like native. After that, some Facebook, maybe social networks, if it's allowed there. You need to check licenses and so on. Then you go to PPC, and then you go to SEO. But I think what is harder, PPC or SEO? It depends. Ivana, what do you think? What is your think about it? Thoughts?
Well, SEO is always more difficult because as an SEO, you need to know everything. You need to know how the server works, how the code works. You need to know things about JavaScript. You need to understand server codes, like what is 200, what is 500. You need to understand to navigate that. On top of that, you need to understand HTML. You need to see if Google is able to crawl that. You need to be good with content, with actually design of the website. Is it user-friendly? Then, as Milorad mentioned, links. So as an SEO, you are a little bit of expert in everything. I love SEO for how difficult it is, but PPC is a small brother of SEO. They basically have similar optimization, but they throw money at it and they score in the top positions because they buy it. We don't have any guarantees. On top of that, SEO can be hit by Google updates, which could be positive or negative. It can go both ways, but PPC doesn't. PPC, no matter what they do, how much they over-optimize, nothing's going to happen. We over-optimize, we can get algorithmic penalty. Worst case scenario, a manual penalty. So SEO is definitely more difficult, but as well is more long-term. So if you set up a website and you create good SEO base, and as Milorad said, work on it, you will have a reward. I think meanwhile, you can run PPC if it's allowed and run all the other sources that you set, because then you can get some money right away back and keep investing in your website, in SEO, and on all the other channels. But SEO is definitely very difficult.
Yeah, so we have this queue of traffic sources, different, and their difficulties. So the next question will be about want more information about betting players in tier 1 countries like US, Canada. Are there any peculiarities? Ivana, I'm not sure, but probably it's a question also for you, if you don't mind.
I can try, but as I mentioned, we don't cover US. US market is very specific. You have few huge players. They cornered the market years ago. We are not even planning to enter. So on US, I'm very sorry, I will not be able to share data. Canada, we know that Ontario is a betting market. We know there are good players. Ontario has quality players. So if you can get there, get there. Canada altogether is very good casino, live casino market, but Ontario is good on betting. And for the mature European quality tier 1 markets, Denmark is very much a betting country. Spain is a betting country. Sweden is both casino and betting. UK is both. You've got lots of quality of people to target. Yes, I know you're going to argue that the markets are saturated, but so what? That's why we want to be there, because they're competitive, because there is money. If there wasn't money, we wouldn't be there, you know. So I cannot give you exact data because I don't have them. I cannot tell you that men that are 52 bet more on football and wear pink socks. I don't have this data. What I can tell you is that if you are trying, if you are getting this data, the audience you want to target is people around 35, 40, 45, the one that have steady income, that have money to spend, because as an operator, obviously you want to make sure that you do all the responsible gambling. And if people are becoming a little bit spending too much and you are not sure, you need to block them. So we want to make sure they have enough money to spend. We don't target young audience, so we wouldn't really exactly be visible on TikTok. So make sure that you have a product that appeals to people with money.
Yeah, thank you. So, and what is the main criteria for a profitable casino offer? Darlan, I suppose this is a question for you, how to choose the most profitable casino offer when you're an affiliate network. What should you pay attention to, like payment methods?
I think that in general terms, and as I mentioned that before, it's how much visible this is outside of, let's say, on TV, you know, because people, they are very much connected to it. They watch a lot of TV, so they will see it on TV and they will try to go there, you know. So it's really, Brazil is very TV oriented, very TV oriented. So the more media dollars that the company works, either casino or mostly football, because casino, I believe, I'm taking here by the hand, is not possible to be advertised on TV, you know. Yeah, it's not. I believe it's only about sport betting. So I will have to rephrase my answer here. For sports betting, it is like, you know, what is the visibility that you have in other channels? Yeah, because we have that in general terms. And I think here for casino would be more like the awareness of the company. You know, Brazilians are very conservative, believe it or not. And we have this kind of like, who is this guy coming to town? And that's why, for example, one of our best advertisers is a betting company that is truly Brazilian, and they are the most famous one. So I would say that the aspect of awareness, the aspect of, and also if you are from abroad, try to localize your advertising, try to bring some people that are, let's say, from here to talk about your brand. That can also be helpful, you know. Casino, like I said, I have to take it back what I said because it cannot go on TV. But awareness, I think, is the name of the game. How much awareness it has got the brand.
Yeah, thank you. So I think let's stop here, guys. We collected all the questions from the chat, so I think we will prepare an article with more detailed answers to any of them. There were questions about best casinos, best cases, case studies, something about SEO, push pops, and so on. We will answer all of them via article. For sure, we will ask our speakers to share their thoughts about it also. So stay tuned, keep in touch, subscribe to our blog and YouTube channel. There you will find more. But before we finish, we would like to announce bonuses. And don't worry if you miss some info. You'll get recording, presentation, and all the bonuses and contacts after the roundtable via your email with what you registered with us. So RichAds gives a special bonus only for webinar viewers, a 10% bonus to the first deposit to all new advertisers at RichAds that will register after the webinar. Use the promo code roundtable23. And the next is from Indoleads. They also can offer several bonuses to their partners. They provide a customized selection of offers for your geos and verticals. Contact their manager via care@indoleads.com to get your bonus. Make sure you put RichAds webinar in the subject of your email. And the bonus is valid only for 2 weeks, so hurry up. And the next is Also, make sure you contact Milorad for fruitful cooperation with Gig Media. His contacts are on the slide as well as under the video. Check them out. And today we also have a bonus from Revpanda. Book a call on revpanda.com and use the promo code Revpanda SEO Audit until October 31 to benefit from a 25% discount on your SEO website audit. And finally, the contacts of Ivana shall certainly be the helping hand in making a profit with ComeOn Group. So this is all we had for you today. So many thanks for joining us today and the amazing questions. Our next webinar will be held on November the 2nd in 2023 and will be focused on the predictions of iGaming trends in 2024. Make sure you register. The discussion will be hot. Track all updates in our Telegram channel. The link is in chat now. Subscribe to our YouTube channel below and click the bell icon not to miss new videos. Thank you so much, dear viewers, dear speakers. It was a pleasure. Bye-bye and see you soon.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you very much for the time. Thank you very much
Thank
for
you.
the
Bye-bye.
productive session.
Bye, Vasilii.